got you, bro.
All right, so do me a favor, please. Could you ask one last time? Lauren
Yes,
London,
sir.
nutshell it.
Okay, you find a woman, right? She's everything you're looking for physically. I don't know, who your type of crush is. Whatever woman physically you could think of, and
Um,
personality wise, it's all there, right? But she doesn't. She may be the same denomination as you, but her beliefs are a little different, right? Let's say
right,
you're Baptist, she's Catholic, or you're a Hebrew Israelite and she's Protestant. Do you
right,
still
right.
stick with her? Yes or no?
Oh, okay. Well, I am literally in that actual position right now as we speak.
Oh
Mia,
wow.
yeah. I'm of Islam. My woman's not. She's not Muslim. She's not.
Mm,
Yeah, she's just spiritual. And the one thing that meshes so well is the simple fact that I don't impose anything on her. If she ever asks me something like, babe, so why do you do this? Or what's the reason of that? I just simply give her the information. That is it. No Jehovah Witness type style. Nothing personal to anybody who may be, right? But no knocking on doors, you know what I'm saying, with the Tower magazine. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, and she does not, man, I love the fact that she does not, there's no kind of shaming, there's no kind of so why you, no kind of political, terroristic type of nothing. The fact is who she is as a being, I just love and I appreciate, and same with her towards me. And we just keep it pushing like that, bruh. I don't impose nothing on her. She don't impose nothing on me. Now, if the question was to be, if that person to land it was to impose it on you and like try to push you in that direction, I would say what your personal belief is and what keeps you spiritually much more important than any relationship you can have with any human. Your personal relationship with your higher being and your creator, however you look at it. I look at it as all of our creator, but some people like to separate on that. But that's just how I see it. So I believe it's more so of a connection of spirits than actual ideology. When the spirits connect, you know how they say kin spirit. They don't say kin religion, right? They don't say kin denomination. It's kin spirit. So that transcends beyond that. But I digress. My mic is muted. I don't want to hold the floor too long. Respect to the family.
no, no, respect,
Yeah,
respect, man.
yeah, I like that word. That I like
Come on.
kin spirit. That is very. I like that. That's wisdom right there. That's true too. I think we don't pay close attention to that word too. I think we glass over it. But yeah, that's wisdom right there.
Okay, but when we okay, so when we do that, right? Let's say we do that, and I follow what y'all telling me to follow, right? What y'all brothers are putting out there. Does God still bless that union though? Right? When can He still bless the union even if we're not equally yoked spiritually?
I would love to answer that first. I
Yes, sir.
personally, I personally believe that our loving creator blesses anything that is of genuine intention. When those two become one in a genuine, organic fashion, and their only mission is, what can I do for you to each other? I believe that God will make a way for that, despite the denomination. Yes.
Yeah, I agree
Hmm.
with that statement. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I 1,000 agree with Smitty just said. He pretty much, pretty much when he was talking about the kin spirit, that answered the question. And then when he just went into the detail of it and manifested, yeah, that's 1,000%. I don't have any more to add to that. That was much wisdom right there. He pretty much summed it all up.
Respect.
So when does the term not equally yoked? When does that come into play? That's my question.
When one loves the other more than the other, when one has true intentions and the other doesn't, when one has a motive or should I say ulterior motives, that's when it doesn't work. When we get too asphyxiated on, so what church you go to? Nah, like, how do you live? Truly, what do you want the end results of your life to be? Right? Now, me and my woman, for example, even though she does not read of the book I read, the one thing that keeps us together, we both just want peace at this point. And you know what we do? We work to strive to just have peace in each other's lives, no matter what. We come across the hurdles, the little, get out my face real quick. But outside of that, we strive for peace. We don't sit around trying to like, yeah, so did you read this chapter? And yeah, so what does this verse mean? No, we don't even bombard each other with that. The fact is, when we do talk about it, we talk about it organically, and there's no judgment behind it. Period. So, I mean, I just personally can speak on like literally what you're talking about. I'm actually in its fullest extent getting through. Yeah. So I digress. My mic is muted. Respect to the family.
Yes, sir.
Dang, brother Smitty, where you been at? Golly, just golly, man, that's a blessing with the words that which God has given to him for him to speak to us today. Because that especially at the first part what he said, as far as the alternative motive and when you're trying to force things, and then how he brought up the scenario as far as what they do together, so it wouldn't manifest into something that they always going against each other. Goodness gracious, God. Not saying he's never been there, because he always spent.
I mean, it's just, Brother Vaughn, it's just like really like just so everything I just said in a simplified form, in a nutshell, we both are on the mission and the path of peace. Period. We both just want to wake up comfortable. We want to know that we ain't got to question who we with. We know you know what I'm saying? Like it's about peace. It's about laughter, peace, and communication. And guess what we do? Yes, we pray together. We hold hands and bow heads before we pray. And no, I don't do it Islamically. We just keep it in a very thank you, God. Right. Thank you for the meal. Thank you for our help. And thank you, most importantly, for the peace that you give us. And what we're noticing? Somehow or another, the more that we keep our intentions right there directed in that trajectory, God keeps on making sure that our arrow hits the mark. I digress. Mike is muted. Respect to the family.
Yeah, that was very well said, and there's much wisdom into that. And I think once you hold on to that foundation, like you said, that peace, and y'all built on that foundation with a strong rock, ain't nothing can break that down. Nothing can break that down. I think that is something to look on as far as what you're explaining so very well, and like you said, articulate it simply. Get a foundation, and do not allow anything to break that foundation, and you will be straight. So
yeah, because the foundation for us is peace, and we don't allow nothing to disturb that. We keep all outside noise from our relationship so we can maintain our inner peace.
Right. Amen. As they say alhamdulillah.
No, amen. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right. Amen. Shana, what's up, baby? How you doing, girl? Merry Christmas. There you go, girl.
Mr. Smalls want to say something?
Well, I agree with your statement. Finding peace and balance, and that sounds like a healthy relationship to me. So I won't have not much to say.
Can I ask y'all a question real quick, please? Just offside. I've always been one that was raised that we don't open gifts until after we wake up in the morning, eat breakfast. Nah, I don't want to hear that. It's midnight. Not right now, please. I don't know. Am I wrong for that? I just want to know, am I tripping or not?
Say it again.
I was raised that we should wait to open up the gifts after daggone we eat breakfast in the morning. I'm not used to the whole we spoiled, so we gonna open them up soon as it's midnight. Am I tripping?
Nah.
Thank you.
But what? Nah, no, stay out of it. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all go ahead, rock out, man. All right. You win. All right, I digress. My mic is muted. Go ahead, open the gift.
See now
I'm
that
not
right there.
between two of you guys.
Say it again, Mr. Smalls. Say it again, Brother Smalls.
According to my grandmother, my grandmother always say, you don't get the queen with 4 legs in a bed. You know what I mean?
Okay. I see. That's
you need to argue. So I'll be staying out.
that's a great proverb, Brother Smalls. That your mother. You said your mother gave that to you, or your grandma?
Grandmother.
Wow, that's a good proverb. That's an amen to her. That's a good proverb. Yeah, that's great. So what everybody doing for Christmas?
Well, right now I'm in bed. So yeah, it's just 1 o'clock in the morning. So might go party later. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you live. What about you, Smitty? Y'all have plans for Christmas? What do y'all do? Just stay home, or do y'all go out? You go out? Oh shoot! They probably open up presents. Brother Smalls, what do you do as far as celebrating when it comes? Are you a Christian or another religion, Muslim, or what are you, a Christian or what?
I fall under no denomination.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're a siren or a siren. When it comes, you're a free spirit when it comes to religion, I should say.
Yeah, because the thing about it, every denomination have a strict set of rules. Nothing wrong with the rules and following, but I like to be free.
Right. Yeah. The Lord put me on that path also. I like to be free as Christ was free. So yeah, that's my the path that the Lord has me on, to be free spirit. No disrespect to others as far as their path and what they're on. It's just that I'm on a free path.
Well, most of religion, right? It's just like a marketing. Anybody could be a Christian,
right?
Anybody could say they're a Muslim,
right?
They hide behind the religion and do all kind of vicious act.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you have to separate yourself from all of that and just try to find the right path.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can see that point too. Do you feel as though some people need that lawfulness sometimes when it comes to following a religion? Do you believe some people need that and some people don't?
Well, nothing wrong following whatever you believe in.
Right.
But personally, a lot of things we do, the traditions we follow and all them stuff, that isn't biblical.
Oh, yes. You said some of the things we follow is in biblical or outside of the Bible. Is that what you're saying?
It's not biblical. It's not in the Bible.
Okay. Do you feel as though even though it is not in the Bible, does it since it's not in the Bible, could it still be biblical even though it's not in the Bible?
Well, it cannot be biblical even not in the Bible. But as time changed.
Well, okay, let me change it. Do you, since it's not in the Bible and you say it's not biblical, does it make it unrighteous? That should be a better question.
Unrighteous?
Yeah,
no.
Do you believe that it could, even though it's not in the Bible, could it still be righteous?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? If it's not in the Bible, you don't think it? You don't think it can still be righteous if it's not in the Bible?
Well, the thing about it, right? You could do things outside the Bible, which is righteous.
Right. Okay.
So,
okay. Because that wouldn't that fit? Wouldn't that? Do you think that will fit the path that you on? Because you don't follow a strict doctrine or theology, so you are free. You're a free spiritual walker. So it's things that you will see, even though it's not in the Bible, you could deem it as righteous, or it could be something that's not in the Bible that is unrighteous. But by you being a free spirit, you can make your own determination and follow what you will think that is righteous, even though people who is biblical may not follow it. Is that what you're saying, or am I wrong?
Here's the thing, though. There are things you could do biblically, which is righteous, and you could do things outside the Bible, which is righteous.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Oh, okay. Well, I can. Yeah, I definitely see that scenario on that. How long you been doing that? Walking that path?
Well, I've been doing this for a while. So, learning new things every day. The more you live, the more you learn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Amen to that. Hey, Smitty, did you open your presents? They probably sitting there open presents. Well, let me see if what's up, Scam Likely? How you doing today? Today? Yeah, no Scam Likely.
Any more questions?
Oh no, you say you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself falling into a lot of pushback because you walk a free path? Do you get a lot of pushbacks when it comes to religious people that doesn't follow that same path?
Well, it's natural. That's natural.
How do you deal with it?
Huh?
How do you deal with it?
Well, I just completely ignore.
Oh, okay. I see. I got you.
I mean, what you saying? I'm back, family. You gotta ignore. I'm sorry, Mr. Smalls. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just ignore them. Everybody have the path.
Right.
Yeah, so you're not good from evil, right? God give you wisdom. You just use the wisdom God give you. A lot of people being dependent. God, give me this. God, do me that. God,
Mm-hmm.
give me a car. Give me a house. God, give you wisdom to deal with a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you ever want in this life is already created for you.
Mm-hmm.
But till the catch, you have to go and look for it.
Got my sister in the building, Miss Oshun. What's going on, sister? You know what I mean?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You say you was gonna come through on a, you know what I'm saying, and share your talk. You owe me like 15 phone calls, but you ain't the only one, so nobody don't feel bad. I hope you're having a safe and happy holiday. Salute to you and my brother, the Mister. You know what I mean? Um, salute to this whole DMV as well. But yeah, sis. When it comes to marriage and covenants, right, and how it's done now, what's your thoughts on it, right? And kind of, should we still follow the covenant of marriage, or do we just need to kind of like deviate from that? What's your thoughts?
I don't think we should reinvent the wheel. No. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
We're
Um,
good, we're good.
What's up, Lola?
Hey, short stuff.
Oh, you know he got a message.
What's up,
uh,
Lola?
hi. No, I don't think we need to reinvent wheels. I think in some quiet sense, we're trying to get back to what we thought was a place of time when things were respectable, not fixed. Nobody's trying to get back to when America was great for real. Um, we're trying to just get to back to a place where things were manageable, right? And we think we can redo it better if we could just get to that place where things just had some value. Um, and then we're going to work from there. That's all we're doing. But honestly, there's no need to do away with marriage because marriage serves a purpose in our lives, and it's more of a purpose than, let's say, having a girlfriend or boyfriend. And granted, that can happen. There are some couples that they don't need legal marriage for them to be a couple. However, we're social people, and socially, marriage is something that is looked upon by the community. So, and it's witnessed and it's respected and it's held up and it has rules and obligations and penalties. We like that when we want to make sure we have things that work for us. So, there's a space for that. I don't think we need to reinvent any wheels here.
Oh, when you say reinvent, that's interesting. Are you talking about like tradition or ideology when it comes to theology or
Yeah,
government reinvention? Which one are you talking about? All of it or just
all of
individual?
it.
All of
All
them.
of it, all of it, because marriage has been on a course journey. Marriage
Okay,
didn't always look like legal marriage. It was just something between families. It was agreements between families, and that's it. There was no
correct,
government at some point.
correct. That's true. Like you said, it was no government. Do you think we should get back to that? What do you think that would be? Because it wouldn't be like you said, reinvent. It would be something that we should focus on and continue in a broader aspect. Is that the right? Is that the right word? I should.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that thought, Vaughn,
mm,
back when there was government, but marriages were happening, right? Keep in
right,
mind that there was a government to a
cool,
degree. There
mm,
was the idea that when you live in small clans,
right,
if you give your sister to my brother,
right,
and my brother gives you 18,000 sheep, goats, and whatever,
right,
and he find out that you disfiguring her face
right.
or you dishonoring her, the
Mm-hmm.
price for life.
Okay. Okay.
So you and your brothers finna come do a drive-by for real and sit in the living room. And if he got a problem with it, you feel me?
Right.
Ain't gonna be no police being called.
Right.
And so,
Lola's so violent, man. Agreed.
Right. I got you.
I'm sorry, Baltimore, come out to me sometimes.
Listen, the wire is not built on your life either, all right? I'll tell you about that.
But she
Yes,
right.
it is. We got some talks we got to be talking. You need to write a book.
Yeah, I see where she coming from, though.
Exactly.
That's how it is, though. Informally, though, still
Right.
that's how the father gives the daughter away. In reality, ain't nobody really giving nobody away. Like we have some system where you belong to your dad and now you're literally the property of someone.
Right.
That when we have weddings and that happens, it's symbolic.
Correct.
Of the old days when it was no government and your father and brother was the government. And they give you away to who they trust with you. And if anybody breaks trust, ways can get split. You know what I mean? That part. In some areas, it's like that to some degree. Like it is. Like you ever heard people fighting over dowries? Yeah. Like that.
And so it seemed like to me, to tell me if I'm wrong, that the government has been doing some reinventing the wheel, especially when it, like you said, when it comes to the property and you consider property and things like that. It seems like did the government or people's personal ideology when it comes to how they look at marriage?
I do think it's more so people's ideology because the government is just simply saying, hey, we will enforce rules here and we use this as a way to count people for tax reasons. That was slowly happening over time. I think when you read in the Bible, there was a census everybody had to travel to their place of origin, weirdly, take a census, and then they had to, take the census of who you were married to, who your family was, how many children you had. That was what was happening via the government. But keep in mind that the newfound government was the Roman government, and before then there was the kingdoms that was set up that the Romans overthrew before that even happened. So the kingdoms weren't doing that necessarily, but over time, government started to say, hey, we need to regulate who's here and who's married to who and what that means and giving protections to people. But it started out from just the monarchs. The monarchs' marriage was the only ones that mattered in terms of giving away. And it was just something of a tradition among commoners. But this is what I'm saying. It's not so much people and the government in terms of culture, but it is about how our ideology has shifted. Now, the father gives the daughter away at a wedding it's symbolic nature, right? He's not really thinking, this is my property and I'm giving her to you because you gave me a bride price and it's a fair trade. That's not how we see humans nowadays. Women property, but people that don't look like you, unlike some Jews that we know aren't property. There is no what we call goyam here. You know what I mean? There's no cattle here that is for the taking. We don't treat people that way. So as humans, we've evolved into a better ideology of living. So we still keep the tradition, like you see, dad still gives the daughter away as if he owns her. But nowadays, it's not in ownership; it's in covering. You see what I'm saying? But before, it was ownership. Now it's my father and my brothers are my covering, and when they give me away, it's to say to the world, she's no longer just under my covering; she's under his covering. Now, mind you, it's strange because you would think no longer is she just under my covering, right? Even when you get married, you're still under your father's covering if you have a father. Like, seriously. Like, when, I'm telling you, if you do something to somebody's daughter, right now, there's still that price to be paid if she got any family members. Like remember what is it was it Menace to Society? One of them, somebody disrespected somebody's daughter or sister, and then he was it Menace to Society? I think it was. And what's the name? Old dog. One of them, got caught up messing around with disrespecting people's sisters and stuff and denying babies.
His cousin, was it the cousin? He was messed the girl.
No. It was.
Huh?
Oh, dog. It was Kane. Kane had messed with a chick. He had got her pregnant, and then when the cousin ran up on him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was
they beat up the cousin, but the cousin came back. And when he came back for real.
Right.
Okay. That part. And see, that's the government right there. That's your government right there.
Right. That's true.
Okay, Lola, I got a question for you before Scam gets in here. Right? Salute to Scam. Good to see you, brother. And Scam, leave the big woman alone, all right? Scam, leave him alone. So that being said, Lola, right? Let's say, because I asked the brothers that and they already answered. And Scam, you can get in after this, and you can kind of share, your thoughts on what we're talking about as well. Let's say you're with somebody, right? And the brother's everything you're looking for, right? Physically, everything else, right? But he doesn't believe in what you believe. Or let's say he does believe in what you believe, but he's a different denomination, right? How do you work that out? And like, how do you stay?
Okay, so and I'm in that current situation.
Y'all can't both be saying at the same time.
No, it is the truth. That's the truth. But no, I get what you're saying. I'll say this, right? If your beliefs, it takes special people to do this, first of all. Because beliefs in tradition and spirituality and religion are some very deep-seated values, right? So you have to have a certain understanding about religion and tradition in order for you to not share that with someone and still be able to function with them. Because that, I always say to people, if you are not as like me, like on some woo-woo shit, don't be trying to be in a relationship with somebody that don't share your belief system, because it takes a strong-willed people to do that. Don't do that. I know some people say it shouldn't matter. At the end of the day, it does matter. Okay, like people, that's an anchored value that most people need to look for. Now, granted, it don't mean nothing to me, because morality from my perspective doesn't come from religion.
She cut out?
I don't know. No, there she go. No, she back.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with this phone. I was saying, let's just be honest that morality doesn't come from religion. People think it does. It doesn't. But for the ones who think it does, yeah, I think if you're at that level, you should be with someone who's of your same belief system, and it just works. No need to argue. And
I think she cut again, but she probably come back in.
So what we on right now? So
Lola sharing her perspective.
Hold on. Let me get to the room.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. All right. So what we on right now?
Lola sharing her perspective about if somebody doesn't follow the same denomination as her, how can she make it work? She's sharing her perspective, but she kind of cut out. She'll step back in when she can. Scam is you. Oh, go ahead, Lola. Yeah, go ahead, family.
Man, okay. Lola, what's up, fam? Shit.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, now you already know Dragon. All right, go ahead.
I was yeah, I'm sorry. This phone is weird. I was saying that when you fall in love with somebody that isn't of the same religion of you, you have to realize that why you're in love with them isn't because of their religion. Their morality, because that's all it really is. Their morality isn't based on the same, let's say, belief as yours, but it is based in the truth that you can recognize. And so, like with me, my morality isn't based on spirituality and religion, but I do have a strong sense of morality for what I do base it on. My belief system, per se, for where I believe, or let's say for what I believe I am, and things like that. Versus with him, he's strongly biblically based. And now he's not solely biblically based, as you know, but he is strongly biblically based. And I don't have a problem with that, because I don't have a problem with where you find, or you feel you find, your source of morality. I don't care. It doesn't matter. When you really understand the truth about, God and life and what this experience is, you don't get caught up on, which fairy tale, no offense, you want to use as a source of inspiration. Like, my fairy tale is just a different fairy tale from yours. In reality, you're going to wait.
Let me ask you this, Lolo, real quick. All right. So look, do you believe that people who strictly date on the premises of denomination and religion are selling themselves short?
I can't say that anybody's selling themselves short per se, right? Not at all, not based on that. However, I'll say this: when you look at things, right, you can see how well it is doing. Getting with someone because you share the same religion doesn't seem to be working. I mean, you can look at the numbers for yourself. But I'm not saying, hey, you selling yourself short because this person is of your same belief system. No, I can't say that. But I can't say that being of the same belief system guarantees you morality, guarantees you shared values. It doesn't guarantee you shit. I'm sorry, nothing.
Okay. So with that being said, I mean, Lolo, all right, so anytime me and you talk about religion, we always talk about primarily what the main premise of it is, right? So when we look at it from the perspective, let me close this book. So I got about the all right, there we go. So look, you said that you don't believe that a person is necessarily selling themselves short. Now, you yourself are in a relationship where you all don't share the same, let's say, foundational. I mean, no, not foundational, but I would say like the main root of everything. That's not what both of you are on, but yet you're able to maintain the relationship. You see? So I'm just saying, when you say like not really, how can you say not really, Lolo, when you're literally just like myself in that actual circumstance where it's not the same denomination? You said he is very much so biblical in a sense, and I definitely know where your head is at when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you not believe honestly that a person, like, do you believe that if the only men that you would be willing to date thought just like you, do you believe that the window would be much wider, or do you think it would be narrowed? Is my point. That's all I'm saying.
Well, for my circumstance, the window of finding someone with my exact same structure is nearly impossible. It's very, very unlikely. However, I learned a deeper lesson that I'm not here to find someone that believes exactly like me. And that's something that's a lesson I had to learn. Like, that's a personal lesson I had to learn. The reason why I'm not telling other people to be like me is not because they shouldn't be like me or that they should. But what I'm saying is there's something greater to be had from looking for people who looking towards people that you share the same values from versus the same religion. And you see what I'm saying? Like if you share the same religion and it just so happens that all you care about is that Jesus saves and that's it, then I think you're good if that's the level you're on. I don't believe in raising people above the level that they've earned to be at. But if you're looking for something deeper than that, something more authentic than that, in as far as somebody's pure morality, their pure values, then look for that. Don't bottleneck yourself into religion per se. Now, I'll say this, in my situation, it's a bit of an extremity. A Christian and a Muslim, for instance, or let's say a Buddhist and a Taoist, right, can get along because those religions are different, but there's some level of similarity there where they can share, right? But in my case, I'm a whole occultist for what people would define. So there's no pin in me to.
No. You're more of the skeptic, as like you're just. I mean skeptic. I'm sorry, skeptic. You're just you're really skeptical on your approach, and you're really on a lot of like, well, if that's the case, then why wouldn't everything else? So you have way more questions than the actual direction, and I get it, as you should.
I would say in the beginning I was a skeptic, but now I am somebody who's let's say I'm more spiritually fluid, meaning I can go to church and have a good time. I can go to church and learn things. I'm not I just because somebody's talking about, the blood of Jesus and being saved don't mean that I can't learn lessons from what they're talking about. I know what the blood and being saved from really means. They're not talking over my head. I know what that means. I might be understanding over their head, but I can still go there and learn something. But I can turn around and go to any spiritual house of worship and be right in line with everybody. That's not something everyone can do. I don't feel offended because the story isn't something that I was taught as a child. I'm not offended by that. In fact, I prefer to think of all these stories as, allegories so that we can learn more from them than we kind of hang on to the historicity of them, right? So when in my relationship, when he draws back on Christianity and the Bible, there's some places where he takes it literally as, as history, and I don't. But it doesn't really matter to me in right now, because the question is why? Is he, when he talks about, for instance, like we had that one short that happened, and we were disagreeing over if God would allow you to be hungry and not eat pork, or would God understand that you're not supposed to commit suicide and you eat pork, right? Because that's all that's there. And he quoted and he said that it's better to enter the gates of heaven maimed than basically send out or whatever. And we were in disagreement over that. But he knows as well as I know, if he was starving and he couldn't eat, and the only thing was there was some pigs, I'm killing them pigs and I'm stuffing them down his throat. And if
Yo,
I'm not. He's not gonna die on me. Wow. He's not gonna die on me. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna eat that pork and he's gonna say great over it. Now, if there's some ducks there, we'll try ducks first. But I'm not gonna let him die over no damn pork. Now, he might feel like why you do that, but I don't care. Okay, that's just where we at.
Yo, said stuff it down his throat.
I want to prove that message, Lo. The swine does not do fucking time.
Huh?
No, I said I approve that message. The swine does not do the body fine.
But see, here's the thing. I don't eat pork. I haven't eaten pork since I was 18 years old. I'm 43. I don't eat pork. But the reasons why I don't eat pork is because I understand there's certain things we're not meant to eat just because we're human. It's just certain things we're not meant to eat. And I believe there's a history with pigs that we're not aware of, and it shows up in the genetics. But that's just me. I'm not attributing that to any belief that anybody got to go by. If you need to eat it, eat it. If you don't. It's a couple things I feel like that about. It ain't just pork. So, like eating things that, I feel that way. But I mean, again, he shares a different religion when it comes to that, right? He don't eat it because he feel like he's hurting God's feelings. I can accept that. He don't want to hurt God's feelings. What if I was married to an Indian guy that won't eat beef because he feels like cows are sacred animals that got feelings just like we do? I mean, they do, but at the end of the day, if I love and respect him, I won't eat that around him. But I definitely will eat it, just not around
him. Okay, y'all. We're going to get to my brother Scam, then I'm going to get to my sister Mo Love. Mo Love, welcome, sister. Scam, go ahead, brother, and then we go on to Mo.
I guess I walked in the middle, but I think the question is more about breaking the covenant. You're talking about married people staying together or getting together in a relationship.
Yep, and also if you found somebody that you were linked to, but yet they didn't share the same belief system with you, how would you work that out? Or would you work it out?
All right, a few things. Number one, and this is a shout. This isn't to specific people. I'm talking in general. Relationship problems have relationship solutions. A lot of times when there's something, man and woman working, man and woman not working, they go to the sky, the stars, the moon, the feminism, the traditions, this Bible verse trumps all, full religions. How about that man and that woman? Do they like each other? Why are they dating to begin with? What does he think? What does he believe? Not just talking religion, but just in general. The most common thing that we do as people is we communicate, talk, nonverbal, verbal, physical, non-physical. These two people are going to spend a lot of time with each other. They're going to wake up together, they're going to run errands together. They're going to be eating, sitting on the couch, doing some other stuff, and raising kids maybe. But all that time, connecting, communicating, they're going to be with each other. Where's that conversation? Where are all the guidance of how to be the man and be the woman and actually connect with each other and work together? Versus, well, the man got to work. Well, we got to give you burnt offerings, skeleton pig nostrils, and that was more mortgaging your daughters or auctioning them off like their property. Or, well, the father got to do this. How about his marriage? He was just hanging on by a thread. But are these fathers, all these people really teaching relationship skills? We're taught how to go to college, how to graduate, and a percentage of people do it. We know how you go on a job, first thing we do is train you on how to do the job. You know, the company culture, what time to be there, how it works, who the people are, how to be an employee at this company, or at least good enough not to get fired. Because
can I ask you? Sorry for cutting you. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
You went into. I see that you went into like tradition and it seemed like culture, but before then,
yeah, I'm against tradition. But go ahead.
Yeah. When you said as far as religious and people bringing the religious aspect in it, are you plainly saying just use common sense, or no? Or are you saying something else?
I'm not saying don't bring religion. I'm saying, if there's a relationship, there's a man and a woman, and they're talking about they're 28, they're 32, and they're talking about being together for the rest of their life.
Right.
Religion is a part, and it has its instructions, it has its guidance. Okay. They don't like, but relationship is 80%. Religion might be 20. If they don't like each other, if they ain't relationship material, it's a long shot to say religion gonna fix it.
Yeah.
So you're saying
a very long shot. She don't even like that man.
Are you saying? I just want to try to get the crutch of what you're saying, because I don't want to confuse.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I don't confuse what you're saying to something else. So basically, you just saying find basically a common ground don't just blow up religion. If it's 20%, keep it 20%.
More
If
like 80 to 90%
uh-huh.
is relationship talk.
Okay.
It's the very thing. 90% white, black, Indian, Asian, Yugoslavian. We're not taught how to be in relationships. The men, the women, we're not. We don't have bi-weekly talks at our dinner tables.
Okay,
Hey, what's
right.
going on with the girl? Tell me about your conversation with Tanisha.
I
This
got
conversation to 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds.
you. Okay.
Well, somebody's moving and leaving, and your daughter's 14 and she's crying on the pillow.
Right.
Where are those real conversations? Why is it teenagers are going to their peers who don't know nothing either versus coming to alleged expert parents, community that allegedly know everything about relationships?
I got you.
Their relationships are the very things why the 12-year-olds like, man, I don't even want to get married.
Okay. I got you. I see.
That's all the way back from 1956 when they said we was traditional. We had these perfect relationships. Allegedly, they were so perfect. Then in 1957, the woman is standing on top of a mountain holding a sign saying, "We want feminism. Get us out of here."
I got you.
We'll sleep in the dungeon. We want some rights.
Right.
We'll eat the pork. Just get us out of here.
Man, y'all really don't want the pork. I see that, man. I see that.
Okay.
But we get if there's a 31-year-old with his wife and they have problems and they just raise their hand to the average community, hey man, we got a problem here. They usually get worse information than what they started with.
Okay. That's
probably 80-90% of the time. And it'll be from married, it'll be from single, some religious, some not. They usually
do you have any suggestions when it comes to recognizing those type of issues that you're explaining?
We need to solve more why questions.
Okay.
If you don't know why, all the way from 1 to 10.
Right.
I had this issue. When I was younger, I thought answering why and how, I thought they were checking a box.
Oh, okay.
I'm dating Shonda and she's upset.
Right.
Why are you upset? Well, I had a rough day at work. Okay, we're not at work right now, so you shouldn't be upset. I thought I checked the box. I didn't understand how to fully have that conversation.
Oh wow. Okay, I got
you. Thought about getting another job. That was how I thought.
Right.
Then she said, "Well, I don't want to talk about it. How can you don't want to talk about it? I'm trying to help."
Right.
I really was. I just didn't know how to go from 1 to 10.
Right.
Not a conversation.
Okay.
I was Army at 18. Hey, this sucks. All right, well, you got to do it now, fast, or die.
Right. I got you.
I knew.
I got you.
There are men. There's big disconnections, and if people have short vision, or they only see things the way they see it.
Gotcha.
We struggle to see a 360. Like a little kid doing something in the store. I want that toy. First thing a lot of people, bad kid. Get him, get him.
Right.
This kid is 2. That's what they do.
Right.
There's a way to navigate a 2-year-old through that. And it's not through get him. How come you don't act like a 9-year-old and be patient? 2.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm probably drifting off. But relationship.
No, that's wisdom. No. That's still no. You good? That's wisdom.
Relationship got relationship solutions. We have a ridiculously high bad communication system. Well, actually, we don't have a communication system. Every system we have, government has big problems. Food, medical care, economic warfare. It's always going to be corrupted in a bad system. Education, and only 15 to 20% can get what they can out of it and leave the rest. Relationship and communication amongst people doesn't even have one. So how bad is that going to naturally be?
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. That's true.
We do not have a relationship system in America. We don't. We never did.
So brother Scam, I thank you for sharing your perspective. We got our system all up. Were you done, Scam? I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, that's pretty much. It was the second part to the question. I'll try to make it quick.
Okay.
Oh, two people from a different religion or different. It depends on how the further off they are, the worse it might be. Because technically, me and person I'm dating, when we have problems, we're supposed to take each other and go directly to the source.
Mm.
But if we're going to 6 different sources at 6 different times, that's 12 different problems, along with the ones we already got.
Right.
Now, a lot of it aligns because 80%, 80, 90% of the core values within most religions are the same.
Right.
I'm values over religion, though I do believe in I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus. Most of the action, most of what needs to be done are those values.
Okay.
I can't say this can't work. Because you liking and getting along with a person, I hate to say it, that is stronger than religion. There are people who are not religious that got relationships that are rocking. I want to disagree, but it's true.
Could you expand on that a little bit if you can?
2 non-Christians married 26 years that don't argue. 2 Christians beating each other up in the parking lot. 2 Israelite or Muslims, and I don't know, there's so many religions now. Piece of worshiping barbecue sauce.
Right.
Arguing over the ingredients in the parking lot.
Right.
And they know whatever religion, they know all of it. They can quote it in the sky.
Right.
They don't even like each other.
Okay. And you said they put values over the religion part of the religion, right?
They just have a good relationship.
Okay.
They may have spiritual problems, but they have a good relationship. They don't have problems with each other.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, that's pretty. I just wanted probably real quick. When you said as far as checking the box, when it comes to checking the box, does it has to be in in an order, chronological order, or how would you think? What would you say to someone who has that worksheet that you're talking about, checking the box? How should they approach that?
They need to have slower, longer conversations. Understand a whole story, a whole picture, a whole movie.
I got you.
Woman come home, she's upset.
Okay.
It might not just be somebody took my parking spot, I am upset.
I got you.
Parking spot, mad. It's not like a matching, like a worksheet, and
Right. I got you.
They didn't want to park there. They're mad at me for something. And then the parking spot was the last straw. Like it's a whole thing. But I'll say this and I'll end it. Emotional intelligence. I took a class in 2019. Then when I was a supervisor, I took another 5-day leadership class that was emotional intelligence based. A thing that I learned was a lot of times when people are going through something or having it up, having it down, whatever, it's not about fixing the problem. If you can change the way somebody feels, because they talk about feelings don't matter, which is the biggest lie. Somebody's in rage, somebody's in depression, frustration, anger, deceit, whatever they're dealing with. If you can navigate them through that, a lot of times in conversation or listening, most of the time they can fix their own problems. And it's better that they fix it because they're the one who understands it.
That's interesting.
But being there for the person in that certain way, especially man to woman. Now the woman knows when she has a problem, she can come to that man and he can help navigate her through what she's feeling, how she's doing. And one day, somehow, some way, she can get through that problem. He's going to be there for her. Same thing with kids, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
You're going to get to pick the kids that come out.
Yeah.
We're supposed to navigate them and teach them how to navigate and get through what they need to get through at those specific times. And they're supposed to come to us, the adults. Otherwise, they're going to their peers or they're going to internet and going to the sky to get answers. You don't want that. But that's all I got.
Yeah,
okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Brother
thank
Smitty,
you.
I'm gonna definitely get to your question. Okay. Want to get to my sister Mo Love. I know she's been patiently waiting. System of Love, and I started this live because of you and my big bro Von Eric. You know what I mean, based on our previous conversation, and
I
I
didn't
definitely
even.
go ahead,
I
Mo, go
didn't
ahead.
even know this was the topic. Honestly, I thought you were just starting a live.
No, no, but I wanted to like hear more and allow you to express more of what you were trying to say. I thought a lot of things that you were saying was lost in translation, and I wanted
Mhm.
you to expand more about what you think about, like, just marriage, the covenant, and just being equally yoked, and a lot of things that you've heard us share already. Just having
Mhm.
your perspective, and you being able to share that, and then not be lost or be confused. You know what I'm saying? And you have that safe space. So yeah.
Um.
Yeah, expound. Could I could,
I feel.
could I ask an expound? I just could I ask a quick question to you?
Mhm.
I see you wrote in the chat when it comes to abandonment. What can
Mhm.
you expound on that, on as far as that part, which you was trying um to share with the people on Bolo's channel? Shout out to Bolo and them. What you was trying
Mhm.
to show when it comes to abandonment, and could you expand on that, especially when it comes to what a person feel within themselves there are abandonment, and how to come out of that, and how to overcome that, especially when you are loyal to the covenant.
So I would say, like, I understand what everybody was saying. Like, a covenant is not just a promise that you stick to when everything is all peaches and cream and kumbaya. It's a sacred agreement before God. However, and I think that a lot of relationships go wrong because people operate from a space of how they feel versus being faithful. And that's why a lot of relationships end in divorce. But when it comes to honoring the covenant, it requires two willing hearts. And I think that's the part that got lost when I was speaking. Um, so I guess the question is, can you really honor a covenant if only one person is sticking to it? And I don't think people understood when I was saying, if the person has been praying and crying out to the Lord for years on direction and what to do, how to move, um, and God releases you from a thing, are you really the one in error if you stayed loyal and you stayed faithful, but the other party repeatedly withdraws and abandons responsibility and refuses accountability? Does God call us to stay in those things? Because from my understanding, God never called us to carry a covenant alone while the other person benefits from avoidance or neglect. That's not a true covenant to me, because the covenant is already dysfunctional once the other party leaves. So that was my point. And again, this is not somebody rushing to divorce. I wasn't, and I think that's what got lost. Oh, well, you got to know to stay, or a real Proverbs 31 woman this, or um, if you a true woman of God, you're going to do this. No, I get that. Trust me. But again, when you have prayed before the Lord for years, whether that's the man or the woman, okay, because wives can be out of order too. But if you have taken this thing to the Lord and God has released you from a thing, then we have to just honor that. And I think sometimes people get lost because they are going off of their observations and how they feel things should be in their own mind. But that's why I say our walks with the Lord is very personal. And then it just felt like everything was on, like, oh, if you don't honor the covenant, or if you do this, you better be very careful. And now it just kind of, it felt like more of an attack than it was correction. So I think there's a fine line with that. And again, that's why I also said it's a blessing that God is the righteous judge, because people will condemn you and put you in a box as if, they've never made any mistake. So it was like, I don't feel like anybody hears that I'm talking about a husband or a wife who has been praying for years, and the Lord gives them a clear answer. I'm releasing you from this. And then Bolo made a good point when he said, who makes the covenant? God. Okay. And then you have to understand she went before the Lord with it, and she didn't walk away. That man did not walk away from that thing. They prayed and they stayed. So if God gives them the go ahead, I'm releasing you because you have been abandoned, what's the problem? That was my only point. And I think it got lost. Everybody took it as, oh, the people just so willing to walk away. Did y'all hear me say that person stayed for years? Did anybody hear that? And they cried out to God, and they asked God to say their marriage, and they did everything under the sun. But you can't control another person, is what I'm saying. People are fickle. Humans are bound to do anything. So, I mean, to say like, it just sounded one-sided. Well, if you're willing to break a covenant and walk away, but there's no accountability on the person that did the abandon, that was the one who abandoned the person. So yeah, I just felt like the conversation got lost, but it made for a great discussion, I guess. And I was a bit frustrated, so that's why I just chose to say good night. I love everybody. Blessings.
Okay. Mo,
Yeah.
there's a question that's in the chat, and it's from Smitty, and I definitely want you to read the question, and then if you want to, if anybody, you can answer it first, and anybody else can answer it after that. If you could read that question, Mo.
Can a stranger hurt your feelings just as much as family and friends? I think it hits different. Like, a stranger can say something to maybe bother you in the moment, but when it's done by family and friends, those are people that you truly trust and you've developed a relationship with, and you've given them access to you. So it hits different. A person that I don't know versus my sister saying something to hurt my feelings, that's going to affect me completely different.
Yeah, I think that's a good that's wisdom. And I think. Oh, go ahead. You want to do something else, soapbox? I don't want to disturb what you're trying.
Nah, big bro, do your thing. I'm here.
No, I like what you were saying. And I think to some of the people it did get out of, as far as the misunderstood. And I think they didn't. Well, I ain't gonna say all, because I think some of the things that Big Ant was saying, it's a lot to it. It's just not one aspect, a lot of elements to it. And what Bolo said was right on. But to some, others, it got lost, and it seemed like they would focus on just one thing that was breaking the covenant. They wasn't focused on as far as what the person, like what you said, for years. And the thing is, went to God. It wasn't an emotion. It was an emotion
Right.
thing.
Because
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. I have to say this. It wasn't even that, one person in particular. It was beyond being focused on the covenant.
Right.
They began to attack appearance.
Correct.
So that's why I took that personal.
Right.
You can be cute and quote the word and look a certain way, but if you're not really living it. So I absolutely had to jump on that. Why is it that a person may look different than the way you expect them to look delivering the word? Why do I have to be judged on that? So that was completely like, that was the part. That's when it became personal.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that's what this is.
Right. I see. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Lola. Go ahead. You had something to say?
Well, I just wanted to cut in real quick before you said something, Vaughn, to what she was saying. Now, I'm not familiar with the platform or what happened prior. I'm learning this as you guys are talking, but just to speak from, let's say, more of a broader view about what happened there. You have to understand when the real reason why people are upset at you talking about justifiably leaving a marriage or relationship is because right now people want to be in marriages and relationships, but they can't seem to find it. And to hear that they have to be on their best behavior or else somebody's going to leave them, that does not fit into their narrative. And right now, the idea is let's turn religion into the new social media status. And if you're a Bible woman or whatever the case may be, you're just going to stay through any and everything because this is what the Bible says you should do. And if you're not going to let me have my cake and eat it too, you're not a Bible woman. And now, because you want to be a Bible woman so much, now you're supposed to sit and essentially catch AIDS or something while somebody treats you like you're not even human. But at the end of the day, really, they just want their cake and eat it too. And what you're proposing, Mo, is no, I can be a Proverbs woman and still, and that does not fit the narrative, because right now women have been leaving men for justifiable reasons and non-justifiable reasons, and it's nothing that they can do. Literally, back in the day, you could beat her, but now you can't. So what you're saying is, listen, I can walk and chew gum, but if you're not going to do right by me, right, you don't get a free pass to abuse me on the premise of religion. That's not what we're doing here. And right now, I don't know if you've noticed, but marriage has now had a comeback, and people now are using the status of marriage in social media for a talking point. And now the religious part of it has now also came into play to say, hey, if you don't get no status points if you don't claim a religious person and one who will never leave your partner no matter what they do to you, on some crazy stuff. And honestly, I get what you're saying, that they started to attack you personally because nothing else was there for them to attack. But that's how it is no matter what the subject is. And you already know what time it is. They've lost the conversation when they have to go attack you personally, because at the end of the day, whether or not what you're saying is real or true or not, in their real life, that's what they have to deal with. And that's where their true anger is at. It's not with you, it's with their real life, because they know in real life, most females are not going to speak like you, but they still going, they still.
Yeah.
Right. And I do want to say this. I thank God for the platform. It has been a blessing to my life. There was just one person in particular where I felt like it was more so of a personal attack, because they started saying, you can look this way, quoting the word, but are you a true believer? And you better be careful breaking a covenant, without acknowledging anything else that I said.
Right. They just,
a person praying for years, crying out to the Lord, choosing faith in God over my feelings.
Right.
There was no acknowledgement of that. And then once it got to, again, the attacking of the personal appearance, it was more so like, it wasn't up there to, like, you were not up there to bring clarity or just provide sound doctrine and wisdom. There, maybe that was mixed in there, but I'm a woman with discernment too. And I know when somebody is low key, like, attacking me. So, and then I also brought to light, like, you have to also understand honoring the word versus people using the word as spiritual manipulation, because that's a real thing. People will try to cover up. Vaughn said, I didn't hear that part. I want to have, yes, sir. There were comments, you can look this way, look good on the outside, quoting the word, but are you really living it? Are you a real Proverbs 31 woman? So that felt personal to me, because I was the only one, like, I was the one talking about, if your mate abandoned you, they choose to walk away, because it takes two willing hearts to honor a covenant. So if that person has not returned after years, you pray and God has told you, you've done everything, I'm releasing you from this situation. Why is the attack so much on the faithful party is what I didn't understand that part.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just what you said. Scam like, you have some input, because you have input, because I see some of the things that you wrote in the chat. So you have any inputs you want to expand on this?
Not necessarily that specific.
Mm-hmm.
argument or discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I only heard the back end.
Mm-hmm.
But my pushback is checking the box. You're a woman, you supposed to do this. Check the box. And then that's gonna fix everything. That's a lie.
Right.
Just
Right.
stay there. Just be black. Just submit. Just cook and clean. And no.
Right.
Just no. The same thing with the men. If you just provide, if you work a job, no.
Right.
Relationship problems have relationship solutions.
Right.
Not outside. Go to the government and they're gonna give you something that's going no.
Right.
Not just cooked sandwich. No. Just no. That's all I got.
I think yeah, that's pretty good. I think what Lola said was wonderful too. That was wisdom. You have something, Mr. Smalls? Because you haven't spoken in a while. Do you have anything to add to it, Brother Smalls?
Well, I didn't fully get the conversation. I was out of the other room.
Mm-hmm.
But you could kind of, bring me up to speed because I was out the room most of the time.
Oh, snap. Well, we was just talking about the covenant. I think we were just talking about what we talked about earlier. But it was something that it was had on the last program that we was on. But it was just pretty much about the covenant. My thing is, and I would like people to expound if they can. I love what Oshan and Likely said, especially when he was speaking of checking the box and things, and also when he said, and I think just as what Mo Love is saying too, it's bigger than what people are saying, especially when, like, if we focus on a covenant, it's much broader than that. And I think that's what also what Likely is saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, Likely. It's just not one. When you check in the box, it's broader than that also. And I think we can't have like I think what's his name? Big Ant did speak on this when it comes to a tunnel vision. Just focus on, you know how the horse got those blinders on and they can't see to the left, to the right. I think a lot of us get into that aspect when it comes to making a judgment. And I think that comes to, I think Scan was talking about this when it comes to tradition, and Oshan was speaking on that tradition and theology when it comes to religion, and then like what Scan was saying, looking to the stars and to the sky. It's so much into it when it comes to determine how light and things like that.
Yeah, it can be damaging. Like the stuff. If a woman got an earring in her left eyelid, she bad. You don't know. Go talk to her.
Exactly.
If a man wears these shoes, he's the devil. No, we don't live in a world that's like that.
Right.
And people are taught these things, and they're still teaching forms of this.
And I think that's what, and I think when Mo Love's saying, the person that was making that judgment, because they was taught that, and the way they was raised, they was, and some of them, some people reflect on what they did in a relationship, and they think this person did this is totally different. You and that person are two different people. So, and I think people are so quick to make a judgment and condemn, and like what Scan Likely said, it's more than, you gotta look at it broader. You gotta look at it broader than that. You can't.
Yeah, and I think the most frustrating part is when you've had to
Mo, real quick, Mo, I made you a managing moderator so you can manage the chat. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You're
I appreciate it. So I think the most frustrating part sometimes, if you've had to actually walk through the fire that you're talking about, and then blood, sweat, and tears, and then you have somebody say, you better be very careful when you don't honor a covenant. It's like a slap in the face, and it's kind of hard to endure that, but I thank God that He has helped me with self-control and not getting overly emotional. But it was kind of like, wow, really? Like, no, ma'am, that's not what happened here. I'm not talking about people just picking up and walking away over everything. I'm talking about a righteous man, a righteous woman, crying out to God for God to help them save the marriage, and all of that was dismissed. And again, the personal attacks is where I was like, okay, I gotta drop down. Because appearance, the way apart, like we went into, and a lot of people look a certain way delivering the word, but are you really living it? Like I'm like, okay, that don't have nothing to do with us talking about honoring the covenant. It got kind of weird.
Can I add something? And I'll try to make it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Checking the box teaches people to check the box, which teaches people to check the box. For example, whoopings. I'm not for them. I'm absolutely against them. People have their opinion. Whooping kids teaches people to whoop the kids, teaches people to whoop the kids. I have a brother and a sister. I'm the youngest. My brother's older. He's the oldest. It was just him and the parents for a while. He's 4 years older than me. Whoop the kids. If you do something, this bad whooping. So if he's older than us and we're doing something bad, y'all need to get ganked. Get him, get him. That's how he treated us, because that's what he thought. Then that's what he thinks. Kind of like the tradition thing. If you lead a man bad, they were taught to check a box. That might have been how they were raised. They went to check the box Baptist church. Then they go teach others to check the box. But the other thing is in the message. My sister, whoopings taught her to hate. How do you resolve conflict? Punch somebody. Hey, that's indirectly was being taught. For me, be avoidant, be sneaky. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. But avoid it. But the other stuff is starting to get convoluted with some of this whooping stuff. And it taught me that, hey, the world is a cruel place. So it can be multiple reasons people are teaching what they're teaching, learning what they're learning, and expressing what they're expressing. Mm-hmm. So sure, what I'm kind of saying is, if people are taught to have a check the box, do this, everything is A, B, or C, that's going to be how they communicate. That's how they're going to think, and that's how they're going to think that other people are supposed to think and act too. Mm-hmm. It can be frustrating when you're grown trying to talk to people with check the box mentality. Some of it, meaning I'm able to allow grace, though it's frustrating because that's what they were taught. And indirectly, we do what we're taught to do. If you look at how people are raised in 65 and 51, you check the box or somebody smacks your teeth out your mouth. Right. And up the street, it's the same thing. 2 blocks away, same thing. Neighbor, anybody. That's how they were raised. And this is during their developmental years of their life. You can't get that out if you try.
So what would you should we even though you have a box, even though you have a paper with box to check, doesn't mean you have to check the box, right? Like when you said whooping, you say you don't do whooping, so you don't have to check that box, and you shouldn't feel guilty if you do not check that box. Is that what you're saying, or I'm off?
I was also I was a teacher before. My major was in education.
Right.
You can teach people A, B, or C, true and false.
Right.
Somebody can score 50 on a true false test in their sleep by just picking all true. That don't mean they know the content. Correct. When you have people do distinguish between, explain, differentiate between, write me an essay, tell me a story about. Now they express the logical, the emotional, they do research, it's full out understanding versus just checking a box. When you're telling a story, you're getting in character, you're showing how people feel, their background. You really are doing way more than checking a box.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to get there. We're talking about relationships and connections with God, building families. That ain't no checking no boxes.
Okay.
That's deep stuff.
That's what?
Real deal stuff.
Okay. Real deal. Okay. I see. So some things may not be on. Some things, so we have to examine when it comes to what you're talking about as far as checking the box.
Go ahead. Left the man because man cheated. I don't know what just throwing one out there. Man cheated, you left. We know that it wasn't, he just woke up one day, I want butt. Ran out there and cheated, came back and said, I got the booty. That's not what happened. Right. There was an argument 3 months ago. There was how he was disciplined growing up. There was how he was in college. There was his addiction. There was all this stuff. There was the good things. There was all this stuff of why and how.
Okay.
All that should be discussed. Because we're talking about major life decisions when people walk away from marriage and committed relationships, especially if there's kids involved. But not just a covenant, broken, you're bad. No.
Right. I got it.
Really, and then how do you move on from that? What happens now? Even if
there is no now. And people need to stop saying that you leave your relationship when you get a divorce or when you walk away. When you violate your relationship, you've ended your relationship. And I mean that quite literally. And that's why like this whole argument about, well, women file divorce more. The question isn't about who went to the courthouse more. The question is who actually ended the relationship versus who had the money to file paperwork. Like that's the relationship isn't ended when somebody files the paperwork. Right. That's not when it ends. It's like you trip over a rock, right? And your face falls forward. Right? When you get up, you're not looking at what's under your head for why you tripped. You're looking at what's behind you. So it's like the where you fell at is the like not in the same space. But to be honest with you, again, this goes back to people who want to argue. Let me be a demon while you be an angel, because that's what works for me. That is that colonial mindset that is riddled through people's minds on a low level energy. And it's still an impactful energy no matter how low it is. And this right here, when I hear people talk like that, I already know that you're in the wrong space trying to educate people that talk like that, because their whole mentality is to win by any means necessary, literally by any means. And if that means locking you into a jail called living with them or a marriage with them, they're willing to stop your life for their pleasure. And that right there is a different kind of mindset that you're not going to help or unlock with any level of let's say energy you put to it. Best thing you can do is maybe pray for people like that, but leave those spaces alone. Like there has to be a separation. You see what I'm saying? And while I don't subscribe,
can you expand on that? Because you said colonial mindset. Can you expand on it when it comes to the details of that, please, if you can?
The colonial mindset is if somebody has a religion that tells them, hey, don't do harm, right? Well, I need to manipulate them. So I need to use their religion against them because that's what works for me. As long as they won't harm, I can do as much harm as I like and get what I want, because they're restricted because of their mindset. They don't believe they can do me harm. But if I do them harm, they won't respond. That is the way monsters operate based on what you're limited to do. That's how monsters operate. Now, I'll be honest with you. The only reason why monsters don't be monsters is when they realize there's other monsters in the room. I just noticed that. Like it's just certain spaces I go in, right? And everybody a bully until another bully shows up. And now everybody got some act right, because you already know as much as you can bully, you can get bullied. Now, and that's what I'm saying. It's okay to think of yourself in terms of the sheep that follows the pastor's flock. You see what I'm saying? In a spiritual sense. But when it comes to understanding the raw human nature, there's a part of you that has to be measured to understand that it's human nature to see that and try to use that in terms of to self-gain. And that's the colonial mindset. Look at where colonialism has made its footing in the world and how it did that. It didn't do that by brute force. It did that by sending in missionaries to convert their minds, and who couldn't be converted would be converted in other ways. But it's like they wasn't trying to send a bunch of soldiers everywhere to get people under their foot. That's not how that happened. So colonialism can happen through religion. It can also happen through propaganda. You know, look at Germany.
That's what happened in Vietnam.
I had a question for the ladies, but y'all done elevated the topic so much. My question just seems just lackluster. Go ahead, big bro.
I was just what she was saying was very, very on when it comes to the colonial mindset. They did it in Vietnam when they sent pamphlets and dropped pamphlets. When they went over Afghanistan, they was passing out candy and chocolate. So different
Right.
mind. Yeah, that's very true.
That's how they do. They come in. That's it. That's all they're trying to do is soften you up before they come in to utilize kindness against you. Because the only thing power respects truly is more power. It doesn't respect meek and mildness. That's not what people riddled with power struggles respect. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying everybody gotta be a demon, but there's a place for goons. You know, we all have an old goon class. There's a place for goons.
So I'll say this, and I know people have different belief systems, but that's why I say there's a difference between, and I say it often, religion versus relationship, because religion teaches you tradition and no true connection to what or who you're believing in. So when you have a true connection in a relationship with the Savior, and I'm pretty sure it's no secret, I'm a follower of Christ, you know, and when you operate, I know for me, when I've operated in given situations to the Lord, his vengeance has been much greater than mine. So I don't always believe in fighting fire with fire, but I do also think that we have to use discernment even in our meekness. Sometimes you do have to be more aggressive because people will try you and they will use your belief system against you. And I call that spiritual manipulation. We see that a lot today. Oh, because you believe in this, let me do this. You're not going to do nothing. I can get away with it. Like they think that just because you believe in this, people can play in your face. No, that's not what this is.
Yeah. Well, how we got saying, the 11th commandment, thou shalt keep your religion to yourself.
That's why I like religion. That word bothers me, but yeah, I hear you.
Judge Colin, Mr. Comedian, man, that guy used to give some real thoughts.
Yeah, I know we were. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Smalls. I'm sorry.
But we, you know, as modern day people, we move away from certain things and, you know, time change. There's a different way of doing things. I understand all of that, but certain things should be handled in a certain way. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
I understand what you mean. But I think people got a wrong impression. And I'm not saying this about you, Mo, because I understand what you're saying. But a lot of times people have this idea that because they follow Christianity, that means that they have to now be weakened and allow that to say, well, I'll be weak in this life so that I can not go to hell. When in fact, that wasn't Jesus's example. If people read the Bible and other texts in the early Christian church years, Jesus was not a pushover at all. Like, in fact, he was a little sarcastic to people that thought that they would get over on him and use him for miracles that really they didn't deserve. Like, people kind of pick and choose what they want to remember about Jesus, but he was not a pushover. And keep in mind, only 3 years of his life is actually on record, like truly. The rest of there's some text that isn't really widely accepted, but it does talk about the early years of Jesus' childhood, which is a whole nother situation. Like, it paints him a whole lot differently. But I don't.
Yeah,
I'll say
it's in the Ethiopian Bible and the Ethiopian books about his early years and things that he done. Yeah, you're right.
I think so, but the thing is, it's not. I'm not saying what it is per se, but I will say that from the little bit we do have, right, wherever you find it, Jesus is not the pastor that won't take his stick and kill a wolf.
Right, and that's why I say people need to learn the difference, like between me and Bolo say it all the time, between meekness and weakness, two totally different things. Weakness,
Mm.
I let people take advantage of me, and there's no discernment there because I say I follow Christ. Christ did not call us to be weak. He called us to be meek, meaning I'm going to walk in humility, but at the same time, you're not going to take advantage of me and play in my face just because I am a believer. So there's absolutely a difference. And even when Jesus did get upset or whatever, it was always controlled anger. He was always in control of what he felt. So that's the difference between him versus, human nature. Because a lot of times when we get upset, it's not controlled like Christ was. So it's absolutely a difference. And I think people confuse the two. Being weak versus being meek are completely different.
That's yeah. Do you, Sean, when you said about Christianity, do you think that sometimes as a society we make a mistake when we use that word Christianity? I think you and likely was touching on this. When we use that word Christianity, do we use it in a narrow way? Should we use it in a broader way? And I think since we use it in a narrow way, this is where we get so much divisions and judgmental. Am I wrong thinking that way, or what?
No, I don't think you're wrong thinking that way. I think you got to know your audience when you speak to them, right? So, for instance, like I wouldn't come to you guys and differentiate between Nazarenes and Nazarites.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? In terms of Christianity. I wouldn't speak to Christianity and in my mind, I'm speaking only about Catholicism and I'm not speaking to the Catholic audience. You see what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't do that. So Christianity understood today means the traditions that we follow today. And that's what we're going to cap this at, because if I go back to the early Christian church in the 1st century AD, that's a very different like Christianity from today. Very, very different. And some of the books that we have that has influenced Christianity wasn't discovered until 100, 200. They just found books maybe 70 years ago that people didn't know about in the 1st century. So we are not in a space where we can just compare Christianity today to Christianity during, let's say, the 1st century. Like it's not the same. But we're not comparing. So we can just say Christianity, even though nobody was walking around in Aramaic saying the word Christianity, because that's more of a Greek translation of that. But we understand what we're talking about, and I think that keeps the conversation relevant versus fighting over the historicity of terms and language.
Correct. All right. So,
we're gonna move the conversation forward, y'all. Mo, can you tell us where we're gonna be going next?
Well, I was just gonna do a late night stream just because I'm just here and I'm off of work, and I just was gonna stream. It wasn't a formatted stream like I normally do. It's just panel. Anybody that wants to hit the link and come up and talk, it's cool. I was supposed to start at 12:15, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
You sure is late. 12:15.
Anyone who wants to join, y'all know I'm normally an hour late, so I'm doing it. But this conversation has been so good.
Yeah, this conversation. That's true. This conversation, I love what everyone said. And it seemed like me and Brother Smalls were talking about freedom, and when it comes to our spiritual walk, and I think everybody touched on that. When it comes to differences with whatever religion, because that's a broad word too. And I just love what everybody says, Scam and O'Shawn and Mo Love and Intellectual. This was a great wisdom conversation. I would never forget this. Much love and respect. And the people that what they wrote in the chat, I thought they expounded on things too in their comments. But there's something like that I'd never forget, because everybody has some great points.
Definitely, y'all. Definitely, man. And thank y'all for somebody about to say something. Sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
Go ahead, Lola. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that these conversations are really great, because I don't get a lot of time and opportunities to talk about some of the, let's say, non-conventional thoughts I have. And when she brought it up, I mean, it was really good, because I've been saying for the longest time, like, people really think Jesus was on some old, soft guy era. Like, like, no, he wasn't. Like, this is the same dude that said he'll leave his flock for one sheep. You know what he's saying? He on some army ship to the core. Like, y'all better hold it down, POP. I'm going for my last sheep and I'm coming back. And like where the other sheep supposed to go? They're supposed to be strong enough to take care of themselves on some we are all one army shit. Like, y'all listening to saying, you're hearing the word sheep, right? And you don't think he's not talking about sheep. He's talking about people. And he's like, yo, all my people staying together. I don't leave nobody behind. I kill for mine. Like, that's what he really said. Like, so I don't understand why people would be like, yo, you want to be on some Christian stuff. I'm like, yo, have you read the Bible for real? Like, I don't understand it. But okay. So I've been meaning to talk about that for a while now.
Well, Miss O'Shawn, you've been on them dust panels, haven't you? No, I get it, because we got dust panel PTSD. We know that like, the topic could be about how many stars are close. Right. Somebody's gonna say child support, 50-50 relationships. Dust panel, they do.
Yeah, that's true.
But unfortunately, the word Christian, once you say it, here they come. Them pastors. The pastors about that.
Yeah.
And then they ain't been to church since they were 13. That they don't even have.
Right.
I tell people it's a marketing name, just like Jordan's, Nike, and Adidas. It's just a marketing name we just throw around. Oh, I'm a Christian. What church you go? I don't go any church, Where you come from? The thing about it.
Really, really Smitty.
That's so cool.
Why step away from religion? Because the more and deeper you get into religion, you're fighting other people. You don't believe what you believe in. This other people don't believe in. Everybody believes in something different. The Baptists believe in something different. The Pentecostal believe in something different. Somebody else believes in something different. So everything can be confusing.
And I mean, it can be confusing, you know what I mean? If people lack understanding, I got my brother Smitty up here. Smitty, I know you just came back up here, bro. We about to move the conversation to Mo Loves Live. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, Smitty, anything you wanted to share, bro?
Honestly, just a dope ass live.